After 15 to 16 months of war, the Gaza war is going to end soon. But can we call it that it is going to end soon? Well, it's too early to call it that it is going to end soon. Hello and welcome to the InNews series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about Gaza war, and this session is important for your GS 2 perspective. Moving towards the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, then we are going to discuss about the devastating impact of the war, and here we'll also discuss that what is the deal between Hamas and Israel, and then we are going to discuss about US and international perspective, what are the regional dynamics which has changed, and then what are the challenges ahead of this particular deal, and then global repercussions, and then practice question for prelims. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to this TIAS channel. Moving towards the news part. So before moving to the news part, I want to tell you Drishti IAS Noida address, and our address is C171/2 Block A Sector 15 Noida Uttar Pradesh, and nearest metro station is Noida Sector 15. ISGS Foundation course is available in both the mediums, English medium as well as in Hindi medium. So if you want to know more information about such kind of the classes, you can call on to the number 87501 So coming to the news part. So on Wednesday, Qatar, who has been mediator in both Hamas and Israel situation. So the Qatar has announced that the war is going to end soon and there will be a ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel. So this news which we are going to cover up in today's session, because so many people were waiting for this news, because we can see that how so many innocent people had lost their life because of the two political rivalries. So coming to the another discussion. So the discussion is that devastating impact of the war. Before moving to the devastating impact of the war, I want to tell you that what is the ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel. So the deal is that it will take 42 days to make this possible, that this is the end of the ceasefire deal, in which they had included that they will return their hostages and prisoners to each other. They will also return the deceased body to each other, and they will also, what you can say, evacuate the Gaza strip, and they will go around the border strip. So these are the some highlights of the ceasefire deal, and many more things also there is to come. So this is the brief about that what is the ceasefire deal between the Hamas and Israel. Now we'll come to discussion that what would be the and what we have seen as an impact of this particular war, because not just 2 countries and 3 countries are involved into this particular war. Entire Middle East was disturbed since 15 to 16 months, because so many people were this kind of problem and they had lost their life. So coming to the devastating impact. So our impact is that Israel's security and reputation. So this is one of the impact, that Israel's security might be in danger, and also reputation, because this time who was supporter of the Israel also condemns the Israel actions towards the innocent people of the Gaza, because they had no fault, and why they have been killed, why they have been targeted, why they have been came to the prison. So these are the things, and we can see that Israel has made its very own enemy around the Middle East. Then Hamas resilience. So despite of this Israel attack on the Gaza strip, what we can see that so many soldiers have lost their life, and so many not soldiers, but you can say the militants had also lost their life. But the sad part is that the Hamas had recruited more militants, and it is showing that where the world is going. We are not talking about the peace, we are not thinking about the peace. And if many people are interested in becoming the militants, then this is a very strong mirror to the society, that where our youth is going, where our thinking is going, that despite of this huge devastation in the Middle East, people are still eager and people are still interested and people are still invested in such kind of the war. So coming to the next one, which is about the US and international perspective. So US has also role in it, and we can see that it has been expected that US is a supporter of Israel, but this time US also condemned the Israel's action, especially the genocide one. And so this is also one of the thing, and US has said that this ceasefire deal is fine, but we need a credible political solutions for it, and call for regional integration. So US has called for the what you can say regional integration, including normalizing relation between Israel and Saudi Arabia, and Palestinians being given the granted a sovereign state. So this is not done by the US, but Saudi Arabia and Israel relation have been strained because of the so many things done to the Palestinians, and we can see that this time Saudi Arabia is saying that they can normalize and they can neutralize their relation at one cost, because they want that Palestinians should be given a sovereign state. It means an independent country. So here we'll discuss some more points to it. Regional dynamics and shifting power balances. So here we can see that because of this particular war, many regional dynamics have been changed, the powers have been shifted. So what happened in the case of Iran and its proxies, that Hezbollah suffering major losses, and also US has maintained particular pressure on Iran by sanctioning. So that's why the economy of Iran has been strained because of the US. And Saudi Arabia position. So we have already discussed about the Saudi Arabia position, that Saudi Arabia has condemned the genocide done by the Israel, and it said that they are not happy and they are not agreeing with the Israel's action to the Gaza Strip. Then other regional impacts. So Lebanon had also saw a shift in leadership that limits Hezbollah's influence. In Syria, we can see that there was a political and economic strain, and because of that they had deprioritized this conflict. And in Yemen also, the Houthi movement remains unified in its hostility towards Israel. So what we can see that most of the Middle Eastern countries are condemning the Israel actions, condemning the genocides, and most of them are not prioritizing this Israel-Hamas issues, because they are already in conflict, domestic conflict. So they are prioritizing their domestic conflict rather than taking care of such kind of conflicts going on. So we'll discuss some more points. Challenges to long-term peace. So you can say that this year in 2025, we can call it a good news, but the good news should be sustainable, it should be lasting. What we can see that ceasefire deal is there, then there was also, they had discussed about that will evacuate, and the ceasefire deal will complete in 3 phases. So all these plans sounds very nice, but what happens that there should be the successful what you can say implementation of such kind of the deals, and meanwhile in 42 days there should not be any disturbances by any party. So we need to ensure this thing. Also many countries are saying that, and many political experts are also saying that this ceasefire deal is not a political solution, not a permanent solution. We need a permanent solution. We need a people oriented solution where in any kind of conflict, the innocent people should not lose their life. And so many, we can say that almost entire Gaza people had displaced, and this is a very critical situation for the world. So here what we can see that Palestinian leadership is in crisis, because Palestinian Authority led by Mahmoud Abbas faces legitimacy challenges and has failed to reconcile with the Hamas. So their actions are not clear, they are not able to make a unified stance. Also Israel's strategy, Israel refusal to cooperate with the international organizations like UNRWA risk creating a governance vacuum in Gaza. So we can see that this time many international treaties, many international laws and many negotiation has been violated. So this is also one of the things. So what is the problematic stance here? So it lacks a coherent peace policy. So that's why we cannot call it a fully good news, because we do not know the repercussions of it. So here we'll also discuss that what would be the global repercussions. So there will be, we can see that this time there are criticism of the Western policies, because many times we can see that they were very selective in enforcement of humanitarian law, and many people were criticizing that where is the humanitarian law when it comes to the Gaza Strip. Then US domestic politics, so we can see that there is a shift in politics in US, and right now President Donald Trump is there. So President Donald Trump might be favorable to Israel, but he is not much favorable to the peace building process. So we do not know that what would be his stance, and then shifts in public opinion. So US was a supporter of Israel, and might be it is still supporter of Israel. But what we can see that younger generation of the US and Europe were very critical to the Israel's action, because they had done genocide in Gaza Strip and they had violated many rules. And it is not just about the US and Europe. Many countries who were supportive of the Israel into their economy, into their polity, they also did not like the Israel action, and especially the genocide one. So that's why there is a shift in public opinion also. So these are the global repercussion we have. Now we'll discuss the what can be the path ahead. So there can be different paths for different countries. So for Gaza, the region faces an uncertain future. So we need a stable and reconstruction policy, so that the area can see the stability, and the people who have lost their lives, the people who have lost their homes, education. So there can be reconstruction in every arena. Then for Israel, it remains surrounded by states with varying degrees of hostility, because this time many laws have been violated, and those countries who were supportive of the Israel action. So this time, by violating various actions, Israel had made its more enemies into the Middle East. And for the Middle East, the war has reshaped the regional alliances of the Middle East, and it addressed the core issues of Palestine statehood. So here it is a critical question that Palestine should be made a sovereign state, and the question of statehood for Palestinians is still relevant here. So this is the path ahead, and we need to think on all these points. First, that there should be the reconstruction policy. Then Israel should think about its policies, and it should normalize and neutralize its relation. And then Middle East and entire world should think about the statehood for the Palestinians. Now we'll discuss the question round. The Gaza conflict had implications for US foreign policies in the Middle East. Which of the following best describe a shift in perspective among American voters? Enhanced support for increased US military involvement in the Middle East, growing reluctance to engage in Middle Eastern conflicts, renewed emphasis on expanding US military bases in the region, advocacy for unilateral peace negotiation between Israel and Hamas. So you have to answer this into the comment section. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask into the comment section. And you can also check PYQs if any questions related to the location of Gaza or location of Israel. You can practice that. Thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.